What's up everyone and welcome to the sign-on bonuses module. We're going to cover a lot of things in this module to help you get a good understanding. Most importantly, so you don't get screwed and trapped in a job you hate and forced to pay money back when you should have never taken the sign-on bonus to begin with. So let's go through rule number one. Rule number one is if the sign-on bonus is less than 10K, it is not worth your time. So it doesn't matter what it says. If it's less than 10K, it's a bad offer. You're going to be taxed, trapped at a really bad rate. That just really isn't worth anything. Now let's go into rule number two. I forgot to put the one up here, but rule number two, if it's greater than 10K, it's probably going to be a fair offer, but there might be stipulations. Also, remember, you're going to be taxed on this, so you're only taking home 7K, and then you're going to deal with, again, the stipulations. Now we can go into number three here, which is the ideal offer, which is 20K or more. Why? Because at the very, very minimum, you're going to take home 14K and then deal with, stipulations of your contract. But this may be worth, dealing with shit for a year. With inflation, you probably want it higher. This is the ideal situation. This is a fair situation. This is a shitty situation. Most importantly, though, and let me scroll down here so we can just move this along. But move this mouse back up here. But most importantly, let's cross this out. Remember that if you leave within the terms, it could be 1, 2 years, whatever. It's all 1 year because if it's 2 years, you're going to double the above. But if you leave it in the terms, you have to pay it all back because they will have a breach of contract claim against you. Now, what's shitty with that is, say you took the 10K, you were paid 7K, you left within the time. Well, guess what? You're still gonna have to pay back that 10K, which is a nightmare. Now, that being said, what do we do about this? The number one thing to do is to say, hey, I don't want a sign-on bonus. I want it added to my pay package. Or I want cash or a tax-free check. Now, what's going to happen when you counter with either option 1 or option 2 here? Well, option one, no sign-on bonus, add to pay package. That's fair, and they should be allowed to do that. If they don't want to do this, they probably are trying to trap you for a reason, usually high turnover, bad management, things along those lines. So just something to consider. Cash or tax-free check. Again, it's not taxable. It's a tax-free check because you're gonna get paid in full. That 10K or whatever, and in doing this, or actually, if it's a lower offer like 5K, you'd be like, okay, I'll take a 3K sign-on with no stipulations. So you can do that. If you're gonna take a lower sign-on, just say I'm gonna take the sign-on with no stipulations, but make sure it's in your contract. But all that being said, by presenting alternative offers, it shows that you know your worth, right? It's much more valuable than what any company can pay you, and I'll go into that in a second. But it shows that you know your worth, okay? So because you know your worth, what's then going to happen is maybe that, less than 10K offer now shoots up to 10K. Maybe the around 10K offer now goes up to 15K or 20K to where we want it to be. And again, it's dependent on your setting, your contract, a bunch of other things, but just use these principles in negotiating. Or, as I said, this one's kind of ideal. You can counter that if you want to. Usually though, what may happen is you probably have to counter these to get to here, just because nobody's really gonna offer you this on the first try unless it's a desperate need area. So that's just something to highly consider, is that. And again, the reason why I say, if it doesn't fit your needs, walk away. So you can't be afraid to walk away, okay? Unless you absolutely need money right now, do not be afraid to walk away. If you do need money right now, make sure you actually just don't take the sign-on bonus and don't sign any commitment, because that might fuck you later on. So don't be afraid to walk away. And the reason why I say don't be afraid to walk away is because it shows that you have more negotiating power than the employer. When you walk away, if they need you, the offer instantly becomes better. Now, say you do all this, you can't get what you want, whatever. One thing that you have to realize is that your job does not equal your worth, okay? I know they say, oh, you're a new grad, you should make $65K for a few years, whatever. Fuck that, dude. I heard that noise as a new grad. I made $100K as a new grad. I make more now. It's just not applicable anymore. It's not the 90s. There's no reason for people to say this. You determine your own value, okay? And what this means is that as a licensed professional, many of you can go and do things and charge what you want. We're going to use PT as an example, right? You're a PT. You want to charge $225 a cash session. You're going to see 12 people a week. You're going to actually end up making a little bit over 10K a month. I believe it's $10,800 a month. Only working 12 hours, right? I mean, if you're even seeing people for an hour. But you can do things like this and you can make a lot of money quickly, and the math doesn't lie, and the math takes emotion out of it. So if nothing is working for you, if all of this, like sign-on bonus isn't working, this isn't working, people aren't, talking to me, or they're not respecting me, whatever, it doesn't actually matter. And this kind of ties into the Cash PT module, but still, it's just showing you that, figure out how much you want to make a month and then just work backwards. And if the job can't provide that for you, create your own system. I've said this multiple times, and I still believe it. Actually gave a talk on it, PT BizCon, that if a system does not work for you or it does not support you, you need to go and create your own system. And as a healthcare professional, you can do that. And now say you're not a PT or an OT, you can't do this, you're an assistant, you can still go and do training. You can do other things to create value, to not be stuck in a job you hate, doing notes, wasting your time, not spending time with your family. So at the end of the day, if you can't get what you deserve, it's okay to walk away or only negotiate on your terms. All right, I know that's kind of hard to read, but hopefully you heard what I said. And this is the most important concept of not only this course, but in general. And I kind of wish, or I wish, all PT schools, all OT schools, all assistant schools, all healthcare schools would teach this, is that you have the ability to walk away. I've been broke as a healthcare provider. The reason why I've done what I've done now is because when I graduated PT school, I got tricked and I had a really bad job and I was super, super poor with a DPT. And in doing that, it allowed me to be like, okay, well, this isn't working for me. Let me go and create my own system. And it's just crazy now that people are still dealing with, paying, let's say the APT average 150K to then make, say 70K after tax, you take home 50K when you literally could just fucking work 12 hours a week and then take home $10,800 a month, right? Just something to consider. And if you don't feel that you could charge 225 or whatever number in here, it's because you don't value yourself. And if you don't value yourself, why is anyone else going to value yourself? It's just something to highly consider. So again, to recap, when it comes to sign-on bonuses, if numbers aren't there, it's not worth it unless you absolutely need it. If you do absolutely need it, take it with no stipulations and no sign-on bonuses so you can walk away if the job sucks. And then also, if it's something crazy where you see like, say it's like 40K, which is very, very rare, but say it's like 40K for like 2 years or whatever, that usually means like red flag. This is, a big, it's a flag, but whatever. A big, there you go, red flag. Because if you see this, there's something going on here that 44 over 2 years, yes, 22K a year over 2 years, yeah, your tax, whatever. But this is a big red flag. And, that's why I say 10 to 20K is fair, especially with inflation and everything at 7%. But anything that's kind of like crazier than 20K is usually some sort of trap of some sort. You don't want to fall into that trap. If you enjoyed this module, just please let me know. I try to be really informative with this one and just show you guys that, if you can't get paid what you're worth, you can always go and create your own worth. All right, thank you for watching.